Okay. It's been a little while since I did one of these. I've been busy with stuff and not making videos, but here we go. We're going to do a melee walkthrough for the first Savage fight of the new tier. This is Dancing Green, or M5S. If you've not seen my videos before, these are not full-on guides, they're melee walkthroughs. If you want a full-on guide, I suggest watching Hector's video on this, because that's the strategy in this video that we're using. So really quick, let's get through this. This fight is interesting in that it's kind of front-loaded. Like, the hardest mechanic is in the beginning of the fight, which is good for prog because you can just keep trying it out. Anyway, here we go. In this video, I am melee 1, so I'm basically going to be going to the left or west for most of the mechanics. That was just a tank buster, no big deal. Alright, so throughout the entire fight, he's going to be doing flip to A side or flip to B side. What's going to happen there is he's going to do a left or right cleave that I'll show in a second, and then he's going to throw out cones or lasers either toward light parties, which is B side. If it's B side, it's light parties. And light parties, it's going to be group 1 is going to be north, group 2 is going to be south. Okay. If it's A side, if this was an A, then it would be roll stacks. So if it's roll stacks, tanks are going to go north, DPS are going to go south, and then healers are going to go to the side, you know, whichever side is safe. And we'll see how that resolves right here. So this is B sides, this is light parties. I'm melee 1, so that means I'm going to go north. And then he's also going to do this all throughout the fight. He's going to do a 4 snap, a 3 snap, or a 2 snap. And he's just going to attack however many times he says in the direction of this like Tetris thing. So he's going to do 4 AoEs, and it's going to be all on that side. So this whole side is going to explode. And after the 4, we're just going to swap over because he's going to then attack the other side. Just like normal mode. So we count. 1, 2, 3, 4, swap. There we go, and there's the AoE. You may have also noticed the way I explained it. If you're melee 2, you're just always going to be south of the boss. You don't even have to remember this. If you're melee 1, you're either going to be south if it's A, north if it's B. It really helps if people just type it in the chat so you remember. So that's A side now. Like I said, he'll be doing this throughout the entire fight. This is a 3 snap. So he's going to do 1, 2, 3, then we swap. And the roll stack cones go out. Celebrate good times is just a raid wide. It's kind of hard in our current gear, so mitigate it if you can. As a melee DPS, we really only have feint, so go with that when you can. Alright, Disco Infernal. This is probably the hardest mechanic in the fight, but it's also super early in the fight, so you can practice it pretty easily. A few things are going to happen here. Song to this is weird to keep stopping and starting. Alright, a few things are going to happen. You see the checkerboard on the ground? The checkerboard is going to explode alternating, so you're going to have to alternate checker square every few seconds for the entire mechanic. A few other things are going to happen. You're either going to have a short debuff, which is 20 something, or a long debuff, which starts at like 30. Now, this is important because when this debuff expires, we're going to have to be in a safe spotlight. Okay, so you see this, there's a spotlight here with no exploding checker on it. The way we figure that out, so first, you're going to divide the checkerboard in half. This is the west side on this side. I'm melee 1, so I'm going to be there. Melee 2 would be on the east side. We're going to look for the bad... When this whole thing starts, you're going to look for the spotlight in the bad checker, which is right here. It's hard to see with my interface right now, but there's a bad spotlight in this red marker. If you are a short debuff like we are, we're going to find the bad checker and go diagonal. Okay, so I'm gonna end here when this is all over. When my debuff expires, I need to stand here. If you are the long debuff, it's even easier. If you're the long debuff, you're gonna start in the where the spotlight is in the bad checker in the beginning. So if you're a long debuff, I would go here. All right, so you're always gonna look for where the bad spotlight starts and look relative from there. It might make sense here in a second. So we're gonna alternate, and what I do is I'm always just gonna hang out where I know it's going to be at the end. So I know I'm gonna end here, so I'm gonna hang out around here. And a few other things are gonna happen, okay? So he's gonna start casting inside out or outside in. Whatever the last word is, in this case it's out, that's where you start. Because he's gonna do either a donut or a point blank AoE. So we're gonna continue dodging the checkerboard, and we're gonna stay out. I'll show the donut or the point blank in a second. You can see the point blank is pretty big. It goes into this safe tile, so we need to be kind of on the outside of the safe tile. And then we can just move in for the in. And keep dodging tiles. Now if you're noticing, my debuff is about to expire, 4 seconds, so I need to be on that tile that I saw earlier. I'm in the safe tile, in the spotlight, and I don't die. Okay? Now what he also did a moment ago is he did a flip to A side, and he put that in his pocket. You might not have noticed that because all these things are happening at once, right? Again, if someone can just type it in the chat, that helps tremendously. But because it's A side, we're gonna go south at the end of this. We'll watch that over again. Debuff is about to expire. And now, because I know it's A side, I'm gonna go south. I'm just gonna start heading south. You're going to keep dodging the checkerboard while he does some number snap. So it's 4 snap, you're gonna keep dodging back and forth in the checkerboard. As soon as the 4th AoE goes off this way, the checkerboard stops and you can just flip. This is gonna be a long video, isn't it? It's not a hard fight, but there's a lot of things to remember. Celebrate Good Times is just a AoE. We got one more kind of difficult mechanic. And then the rest of the fight is pretty standard stuff. Excuse my coughing, I have a cough. Alright, so, Ensemble. We're gonna do conga line. So it's gonna be ranged, DPS, ranged melee, melee, ranged. So we're melee 1, this would be melee 2, and we're gonna just be kind of spread out around here. We're gonna go max melee. Don't worry about positionals here, because you don't need them right now. And you can see this AoE around him. This is gonna alternate between a point blank and a donut repeatedly for a while. So the first AoE goes out. We go in. Now you may have noticed this cone that just happened. It hit our melee friend over here. So he was hit, and then it's gonna repeat wherever it hit, like the exact spot in space where it hit first. So whoever gets hit just moves over, and then they move back. And I'll show you when I do it too. So while you're doing in and out, I just got hit. So this cone that just happened right here is gonna happen again where it hit me. So I'm gonna move to the side, and then I'm gonna move back while going in and out. See that? The cone happened again in the same spot. And I just keep going. It should alternate between melee or DPS and supports. Oh, my music stopped. We're gonna have to replay this song multiple times. Okay, now a few things are gonna happen. Once all the lights go out, look at your debuff. and you're probably going to round up like a couple seconds. So see, I have 8, so if we round that up, that's going to be 10. Other people can round up to 15. Like, see, there's a 13 here. They're going to round up to 15. 18 is going to round up to 20, and 23 is going to round up to 25. And we're going to look at, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Should be over here. We can do better than that. Hold on. Okay, so there's these squares on the ground. Okay. If you're rounding up to 10, you're going to go in these squares. If you're rounding up to 15, these squares, rounding up to 20, these squares, rounding up to 25, these squares. There should be 1 DPS and 1 support in each one of these. And we're going to divide it up into half, and we're just going to go back and forth depending on the frogs in the back, just like normal mode. Okay? The reason is, when this expires, it's going to do like an AoE around you, but if you're with your buddy with the same timer, and you're on top when they go off, nothing bad happens. And in fact, you'll be rewarded. If you don't do that, then you're going to take damage. And I think a damage down, if I recall? No, you take a dot. So because I rounded up to 10, I'm going to be in the front. And we're going to look at these frogs. Whatever side their arm is pointing, that's going to be the half of the room that explodes. So we're just going to go back and forth. Just going to shuffle the entire time. Please ignore the fact that I'm just now noticing in this replay, I forgot to do my second reawakening, and I'm overcapped all to hell because I'm a horrible Viper. But let's ignore the fact that I'm horrible at the game. Okay, if you did all of that correctly, which it looks like all of us did, once this goes off, you get a perfect groove, which is going to give you 20 seconds of a damage buff, and if your whole group does it, you're going to get a lot of limit break. So if you have a class that can take advantage of this damage buff, you know, like I would usually use a reawakening here. Absolutely do that. He's going to put a flip to A side in their pocket, so we're going to go south once this resolves, but it resolves later. We're going to do ride the waves. This is really easy. So ride the waves. You can see that there's going to be a safe lane here and a safe lane there. Group 1 is going to be west. Group 2 is going to be east. And what we're going to do is we're going to have to do a stack or spread here. So it's going to be ranged, tank, melee, healer. There's another like uptime variant for this where they would put all of the melee on one side and all the ranged on the other side. We're just going to do Hector strat, which is going to be this. It's really neat and tidy how we do this. So the boss is going to do an 8 beat or a quarter beat. Think 8, there's 8 of you, so all of you are going to get your own AoE, so you have to spread. If it's quarter, that means you're going to have a partner stack. I'll show you here. So 8 beats, see how we're all in that line that I just said. AoE goes off, and we're fine. And notice that the safe lane is going to switch here in a little while. We'll just worry about that when it comes in. Okay, quarter beats is partners. So that means the healer is just going to move up to me, so I don't even move. And the ranged move up to the tank over there. Quarter beats, 2-person stack. Goes off. And you have to make sure that you're in the correct lane. Pretty simple. They're going to do an outside in. The last word of this is in. So we're going to start inside instead of out this time. And then out. Two snap, we remember this is going to be a roll stack. So 1, 2, swap. This version of the song just keeps messing me up. Just keeps stopping and starting. It's just a YouTube video of the song. In fact, I'll probably reset it while nothing's happening. Continuing on Frog Tirage. So frogs are going to spawn on some of the cardinals. And what we're going to look for is you can look at any one of the frogs because you'll have all the information you need. These frogs are either going to go towards the center or towards the side. And so they go towards the center. So they made a full box, you know, this way, right? So all of this is going to explode. That means that the other one is going to be safe. So since north-south is bad, east-west is going to be safe. So we're going to go west. Group 1 is going to go either west or north. Group 2 is either going to go east or south. And then we're going to look at the boss. It's going to be either 8-beat or quarter beat. If it's 8, it's spread. And I'll show you how we do that here. Looking at the boss, DPS are going to be on the right, you know, if we're looking at the boss that way. And if it was stack, both me and the tank would just stack right there. Just like that. Easy peasy. Another Disco Inferno. This one is a lot easier than the first one. So you're going to look at your debuff. I have the short debuff because it's under 10. The other one is under 20. So if you're short debuff, you need to just go out and take the first spotlight. If you're wondering which one, this is color partners. So purple here and purple here. The spotlight starts here. It's just going to move. So it's going to move to the other one. So since I'm the short debuff, I go out, I take the spotlight, I dance, and the other people, they have these frogs here, and they're going to shoot a cone at the closest people. So if you're not in a spotlight, you're going to use the color pairs again, and you're going to bait the frog so the cone doesn't hit the people in the spotlight. Makes sense, right? There. Okay, and then you trade. So the other people are going to take a spotlight, and we're going to bait a cone. So you see the spotlight is in the corner, so I'm going to bait a cone to the side. And you can hit the boss from here. You're still in melee range. Okay, it's a 3-snap. Again, every time that he does an A side or a B side, just type it in chat so you remember. Celebrate good times as an AoE. There's only a few things left. He's gonna do another in and out, but this time there's no debuffs. This part of the mechanic is exactly the same as the other. The cone is gonna hit twice, so once you're targeted, you move to the side, while also going in and out. I think I'm the last one in this replay. Yep. So I got hit, go to the side, and then go back. Okay, and now this is going to be, there's no debuffs this time, so you can stand wherever you want. However, you should stand around the center, because the frogs now, instead of just doing left and right, they can do forward and back. So you can see like this one is showing his butt, because he's pointing north, so the AoE is going to go north, and you just have to dodge all of them. So we got a left, then we got a south, then we got a north, and I'm just looking at the frogs in the background. It's pretty quick, so like don't dilly-dally. Like you gotta you gotta dodge. And just like last time, if you do it all right, you get a short damage buff, and if everyone does it right, you get limit break. Somebody got hit, so we didn't get the limit break this time. I usually try and save a reawakening for it. If you're a job that can do something like that, might as well. We're almost there. I think this is like 2 or 3 more mechanics. Another Frog Tirage. So you can see, this is pretty simple. This one's going to do an AoE on that side. This one's going to do an AoE on that side. So this is going to be safe. So you just have to look at the frogs, figure out which quadrant is going to be safe, and the boss is going to do it too. Very simple. Let me get another frog tirage. All right. So we were looking at the north frogs, right? And they went out. So that means the middle is going to be safe. Standard right now is supports are going to bait these middle frogs. They're going to do cones just like before. And DPS are going to bait second. So the supports are going to stand like right here and bait the cones out to the side so the DPS can just stand middle. They bait. So they're in the safe and they bait the cones north and south in that case. And then the opposite's going to happen. So the support did the first one, so DPS have to do the second. But now we saw that the middle is all going to explode, right? Because the frogs went there. Let's show that one more time, actually. And so we can see the frogs up here. They're going towards the center. If they go towards the center, then the center is going to explode. And they're going out to the side, so we need to go out to the side. So we're going to be closest to the frog on our color. We're purple. And the supports are just going to be like as middle as they can be on the side. That way we're closer to the frogs, so we bait. Easy peasy. There's going to be more dodging, and you can see this one's going that way, the middle guy is going this way, and this one's going that way, so there's a sliver safe right here. It can be kind of sneaky sometimes if you're not paying attention, but it's not hard. We're almost there. Boss is almost dead. There's just one more disco. Alright, so the funky floor is back. So we're going to have to alternate the checkerboard just like we did in the beginning of the fight. And he's going to do 8 beats or quarter beats. And then the first one he does, he's going to do the opposite later. So 8 beats is just spread. Us as melee, we're going to be like around here. And the ranged or the healers are going to have to move out a little bit. We need to make sure we're a little bit spread. You can see like this melee went here. If I was here, that would be bad. But we're like have a square in between us. So we're not going to blow each other up. And we keep alternating. Then the boss is going to do an inside out or an outside in. The last word is out. So we're going to start out. So we start out. Then we go in. And after practicing the beginning of the fight, like this shouldn't be very hard. Okay. He's doing a quarter beat. So me and the healer are going to meet up basically wherever makes sense. So we meet up there for a quarter beat stack. And that's it. Way easier than the first one. And I'm pretty sure that's it. I think it's just enrage after a few AoEs. One feint can last for both of these. That's nice. And pretty sure it's just enrage. Yep, finale. So this is enrage. This reclear group and Party Finder didn't have amazing DPS. Like last week, we killed it way before this, but oh well. But that's the fight. If you have any questions, you can post them below. If this was useful, by all means, let me know. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one.